Okay, we have Coach Beamer here, and he has a couple opening remarks.
All right, great to be up here again. Great to be back at SEC Media Day for my third year. As I was just saying in the other room, I'll never take this opportunity for granted. I love the position that I'm in as a head football coach in this conference, the best conference in all of America, and I love being able to come here and spend time with you guys and talk Gamecock football. So hope the week has gone well for you, and you're on the home stretch here this afternoon. So with that, be glad to take any questions.
Okay, right side, front row.
Hey, Coach. Steve Moulton, WZ.
Man, it's awesome to see you in person. So I feel like I'm on a Wednesday teleconference. You know, one thing I can always count on is you. So pleasure.
It's good to see you, Coach.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask about your running back room.
Yeah.
You seemed very concerned about it in the spring. And is that the fewest amount of running backs you've gone through in the spring? I think it was 2 scholarship running backs during the spring.
Yeah, I'm concerned or was concerned about the depth at the running back position. And I told our running backs this, like, I'm not concerned about the talent level. We got plenty good backs. That's a wear and tear position. And, you need more than 1 or 2 running backs to get through a season, because those guys, too, the other thing that people don't talk about, those guys are typically core special teams players for us as well, returning kicks, covering kicks, you name it. Juju McDowell has been, DeCarrion has been, Kevin Harris was when he was at Carolina, it's like Quandre White was, on and on and on. So the depth concerns me. I like where the group is. It's a good group of guys. Now the key is just going to be continuing to get them better and continuing to hopefully, stay healthy. I don't want to say this and bring bad karma, but I mean, I've been a part of teams where we lost 4 running backs during the season to injuries, and I was at Georgia in 2017. I mean, we had Sony Michel, Nick Chubb, DeAndre Swift, and Elijah Holyfield were our 4 running backs. All 4 guys are NFL football players, and we needed all of them throughout that season.
Left side, second row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX in College Station.
Yeah.
What did it mean, last year for the program to beat Texas A&M for, the first time ever, and how much you're looking forward to that game again?
Yeah, it meant a lot. Obviously, it had never happened at South Carolina. And you hear different, horror stories about some of the games over the years. I was a part of one in 2021 when we came out to College Station. So it was huge because of the respect that we have for Coach Fisher and that entire program. And that's one of the great programs in all of college football, great tradition. So for us to, finally get that done, that was an electric night in Columbia, South Carolina. I was in Houston, Texas, speaking on Sunday to the Texas high school coaches, and got asked that question by a lot of the people there in Texas about the atmosphere in Columbia that night, and it was elite, without a doubt. And the other thing I'm proud of, that was a game. We had beaten Kentucky the game before up in Lexington, where they were nationally ranked. We had a week off. So it was 2 weeks of everybody patting our players on the back, telling them how great they are. But then to follow that up with a huge win over a great program in Texas A&M was really, really good for us.
Right side, third row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Coach, what are the most important things that a quarterback coming in from the transfer portal needs to do to prove himself to his teammates and be ready to lead the team on the field?
Yeah, great question. To me, it's beyond the football part. It's just the showing your teammates, in my opinion, that you're a guy that they want to follow, that you're a leader, that you're about the right stuff. Spencer showed that when he came in last season. I think it was really good for Spencer because Spencer was at Oklahoma when Jalen Hurts transferred there. So we were all there together, and Spencer had a chance to kind of watch Jalen, how he handled that transition coming in. Jalen Hurts came into Norman, Oklahoma, and just kind of, I don't want to say kept his mouth shut, but just went right to work and earned the respect of his teammates with how he worked. Spencer did the same. He came in, he went right to work. Earned the respect of his teammates. He was voted a captain last season after the year by his teammates. To me, there's no greater honor as a student athlete. And then I would say the other thing from a football standpoint is just getting acclimated and learning a system. When you bring in a transfer quarterback, it's not like a freshman that you're bringing in to maybe sit around for a couple years and develop. You're bringing in a transfer quarterback to play right away. So you have to really get comfortable with what your particular program is doing from a schematic standpoint quickly also.
Right here, front row.
Shane, before I ask you a special teams question, since we're in Nashville, I don't know if you're aware that you were part of the first Music City bowl game, and you won that game in '98. Your dad was obviously the coach, and of course, you guys had a block kick. I think it was Corey Moore.
Yep, 38-7 over the Crimson Tide that night. Yep, one of the coldest games I've ever been a part of.
So staying with special teams, you guys, and obviously, the Beamer Ball brand, we've talked about it multiple times, but to finish #1 in efficiency last year from a special team standpoint, the contract extension or the boost with Pete Lembo, now that target is on your back and it's even bigger now, how do you guys continue to have that success, #1, but #2, how do you emphasize that to the players? Because obviously more guys want to be on special teams now.
Yep. Going back, also played at Vanderbilt Stadium because the Titan Stadium hadn't been built yet. So also a little known fact about that '98 Music City Bowl as well. Unbelievable year on special teams, and to me, Mike, it's kind of what we've talked about with every other area of our program, like how can we be better? We won games on special teams last season. The way that we controlled field position in the Clemson game, returning a kickoff against Texas A&M, some of the fake punts, fake field goals that we ran. So let's continue to be great, but how can we be even better? And we have, and not just special teams. I mean, I've challenged everybody, myself, nutrition, weight room, training room, you name it. Like, how are we going to be better this year? And Pete, he's already come to me with like his new ideas for fake punts and fake field goals and things like that. He's been like a mad scientist, and you realize that you do have somewhat of a target on your back now. So as a competitor, you love that. We've got to continue to be better, and confident that we will be because we bring the core of our special teams units back: snapper, punter, kicker, kickoff returner. So that's a great benefit without a doubt also. And then certainly when you have success on special teams, it creates momentum where other guys want to be a part of it. And we got guys on our team that come and want to be on special teams, and certainly guys know that's the quickest way to get on the field. We're only allowed to travel, 70 guys to away games. Well, we got 120 guys on our team, so the guys that we take to games are going to be ones that help us on offense, defense, and special teams as well. So it's a great motivating factor, but, nobody comes, I get it, nobody comes to South Carolina because they want to be the starting gunner on the punt team or the left tackle on the field goal team. But when you have success like we had, it makes guys want to get out there and be a part of that.
Front row.
Hey, Coach, great to see you.
Good to see you.
AP Stedham, AP and Kelly, as we see at Syndicated Radio. Coach, there's a lot of dynamics to win a football game, but what are some of those that were present in the Tennessee and the Clemson game that you could move forward to some degree? And then what do you envision the second year with Spencer Rattler now that he's been in your system for 1 year?
Second part, Spencer just continued to develop and take steps. The way that he played late in the season, we've got to continue to build on that as well. The freeness that he played with and the confidence that he played with. Let's just continue to keep being that guy as well. And then from those two specific games that you're talking about, I think those are games that we made impactful plays on offense, defense, and special teams, and that's what it takes to win football games. We created turnovers in those games. We did in the Clemson game, but we really didn't turn the ball over against Tennessee. We talked about impactful plays on special teams. And to me, more than anything, when I think about those two games, are just the competition as a core value of our program and the competitive plays that we made in that game, where the ball's in the air and it's a one-on-one opportunity with a receiver and a defensive back, and we win that battle. Or we had a touchdown run against Clemson where we turned a blitzer free right up the middle, and Spencer made him miss and then kind of lowered his shoulder and gave himself up to get into the end zone. So just the unselfishness that our guys showed and the ability to make competitive plays really stand out from those 2 weeks.
On the aisle, second row.
Billy Jones, KCU, 88.1 FM, Columbia. Coach, the last 2 years you've led the league in turnovers. That was obviously a deciding factor in your game against Missouri. I'm curious what you guys have done as a staff to try and clean that up for next year.
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that again. No, but you're right. We've talked about it a lot. And I think it's one of those things you don't want to talk about it just so much where it becomes like the negative effect. I was at Oklahoma and there was a big kick about, well, we're going to create turnovers defensively, and we went 3 weeks and we never got a turnover. It was almost like they were pressing to make turnovers so much. So, we went back and we looked at every single turnover from last season, why it happened, what caused it, how can we be better, whether it's a technique that we're coaching or what we're calling offensively, and we all have a hand in it. It might be a poor ball security, you carry the ball the wrong way. It might be a poor decision by the quarterback for throwing a ball that he shouldn't have thrown. It might have been an offensive lineman that turned a rusher free and resulted in a turnover. That happened against Clemson as well. So just things like that. We've just got to look at how to be better, but we've also led or been second in the SEC 2 years in a row in takeaways, meaning our defense is creating turnovers. So we're doing some good things in practice, clearly, but we've got to be better and just emphasize it even more than what we already have.
Front row, right side.
Colton Sully, OU Daily. Coach Beamer, you talked about Oklahoma's readiness for the SEC on the main stage, but you were there when they have similar facilities as they do now in the same stadium. I was wondering if you could compare the SEC environments and facilities and how they compare to OU's current.
Yeah, I thought Oklahoma had great facilities when I was there. I guess there's plans to build a new one, I read somewhere across the street. But no, I thought the facilities were good. I know they had just renovated it when I got to Norman and started working. When you got an athletic director like Joe Castiglione, he's not slowing down or sitting still, so he's going to make things the best they can be. And then environment, it's a great environment in that stadium. I mean, I love coaching in it, and great fans there, and all the traditions of Oklahoma football is nothing like it. Or there's a lot of things like it, but not. There's nothing like it in Oklahoma, I guess. Now I got the Oklahoma State people mad at me. That came out the wrong way. So it's one of the great traditions in college football. That's what I'm trying to say as well. It's not everywhere. It's nothing like it going into a stadium and you pass 7 or however many Heisman Trophy statues that it is now, 8 maybe, I don't know. That's unique and whatnot. And I think the thing that'll be different is just no disrespect to anybody else in that conference, but there's certain Saturdays you go into a stadium and you're not playing in front of 60, 70, 80, 90, 100,000 people. That's really not the case in this league, which is awesome. I love that part of it. And that's one of the reasons I'm sure Oklahoma and Texas wanted to be a part of this league. It's just the atmospheres and the places you get to go play in.
Wish we had time for more, but we have time for 2. Left side, third row.
Matt Stahl, AL.com. Don't want to dredge up bad memories here, but you faced off with Tyler Buckner in the Gator Bowl last year. Just wanted to get your impressions of him as a quarterback.
Yeah, really talented, athletic, gamer. I remember seeing him right after the game. I finished my press conference, and he was out in the hallway getting ready to go in for their press conference. I just told him, like, heck of a performance, great respect for you, and I do. Made some really good throws in that game as well, and just a guy that you could tell his teammates had great respect for him and rallied around him, and certainly a guy they had a lot of confidence in at Notre Dame.
Last question, right side, back row.
Coach Beamer, Corey LeBounty, Mobile, Alabama, WNSP. When you look at the other institutions or other sports on your campus, such as Dawn Staley with women's basketball and yourself, how do you all go about helping one another recruit? And also the second part of the question is, when you look at the family dynamic of you and your father, what is the best part or lesson learned from your dad from a win or a loss?
Ooh, 2 good questions, comments. One, it's a great community that we have at Carolina of legendary coaches. Starting with my boss, my athletic director, Ray Tanner, who won 2 national championships as a baseball coach. So I got a boss that I can walk into his office, and he's won national championships, and I can ask him questions because he's been in my chair as a head coach. Then you got Dawn and what she's done, on and on and on. I mean, so many fantastic coaches at our place, and we all do not say no if we can. I've had other sports, whether it be Dawn or softball or whoever it might be, that have asked me, basketball, that have asked me to meet with recruits when they've had them on campus, and I've done that the day of games, the day before games. Dawn has never told us no. She is certainly very impactful. So she came, we had a recruiting breakfast at my house in June, and she came to breakfast. And I mean, the line of parents and recruits to take a picture with her, I didn't think we were ever going to get them out of my house because they were so excited to see her. So she's awesome, and all of our coaches are. And it's a great community that we have at Carolina to help each other out, because if we're all successful, it helps us all, without a doubt. And I'm a fan of all Gamecock sports and love supporting all of our teams. And then as far as best lesson from my dad, I would say two really stand out to me. One is just he used to say it all the time, like, don't get too high and get too low. There's a lot of extremes in this profession, and a great win, a bad loss. We had both those plenty last season. And just trying to stay the course and stay steady and not be on an emotional roller coaster. I saw that firsthand from him and try and do that now as a head coach. And then also just realizing I've said it before, what a thin line it is between winning and losing. Like, the margin of error is so thin. And people remember my dad at Virginia Tech and the consecutive bowl games and playing for the national championship, but it took him to his seventh season to get to a bowl game. Like, his first 6 years at Virginia Tech, they didn't go to a bowl. But in 1992, they won 2 games. But they lost 6 games that year that they either led or were tied going into the fourth quarter, and they just couldn't finish. So there was a small margin for error. Next year, basically the same team came back. They won, I think, 9, beat Indiana in the Independence Bowl, and went to 20-some consecutive bowl games after that. So just realizing that winning is hard. So it's helped me now in this role as a head football coach. Like, I'm always going to appreciate winning. And there may be bad performances where we win the football game. I'm going to celebrate that for sure, because winning is hard, especially in this league.
Coach, thank you. Great job.
All right. Thank you all so much. Travel safe going home.